As expected, Cam Ward was the first overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft to the Tennessee Titans. Ward was supposed to go number 1, and he did. And he really was the only player that we could predict going into the draft. It's a weaker class for sure, mainly at quarterback, but it seemed pretty clear that the Titans needed a quarterback. Throughout the process, Ward ended up being the top guy. And here we are. Tennessee stayed at 1 and has another shot at a franchise quarterback. The Titans have tried to get a guy for years now, from Vince Young in 2006 to Jake Locker in 2011 to Marcus Mariota in 2015. None of that has worked out, and recently the Titans took Malik Willis in 2022 and Will Levis in 2023. Both were mocked to be first-round picks by some, but ended up dropping to day 2 for the Titans. But this time around, it's literally the Titans picking the number 1 option no matter what. Now, the harsh reality is, Ward isn't as great of a quarterback prospect as most number 1 overall picks. If he were in last year's draft, he definitely wouldn't have been a top 3 quarterback, maybe not even a top 4. But the Titans are a quarterback needy team. And if they decided to trade away, well, what if Ward ended up being great? You have to take the shot when you have it. And that's exactly what the Titans did. But now they need to make sure that they're actually going to develop Ward into an NFL level quarterback. So are the right things actually in place for him to succeed in Tennessee? Well, the Titans are in a new era where it's really much of the same that it's been for years. Find a franchise quarterback. It's back to the drawing board again, and it's with a newer coach this time around. Brian Callahan. He got the job last year and the Titans went 3-14. It wasn't pretty, but it was a growing year. And now it's time to get the right pieces in order to succeed in the future, because Will Levis is obviously not the answer. Now the good news is the Titans have made some moves this offseason to help prepare for a rookie quarterback. The biggest one is surely getting a very needed left tackle in Dan Moore Jr. He spent the last 4 seasons with the Steelers and is now the blindside guy for the Titans. He was definitely overpaid and got a 4-year, $82 million deal with $50 million guaranteed, and $30 million alone will come this year. No, not ideal, but it was definitely worth it. Then the Titans also signed Kevin Zeitler on a 1-year deal at right guard. He could also be huge for helping the offensive line improve, which may be the single biggest thing that the Titans need to help Cam Ward succeed. And then the rest of the line includes 2 first-round picks, Peter Skoronski at left guard, who was drafted in 2023, and J.C. Latham at right tackle, who was drafted last year. Then at center is Lloyd Cushenberry, who signed a 4-year deal last year with the Titans. The pieces are definitely there for an improved offensive line, but as for Ward's weapons, there's a lot more to be desired. Calvin Ridley is your number 1. He had over 1,000 yards last year in his first year on a 4-year, $92 million deal, and then the next 2 guys are both new. Van Jefferson was signed this offseason, and so was Tyler Lockett, who is super experienced and could really just be a good safety blanket for Ward. Chig Okonkwo is still there at tight end, and same goes with both running backs, Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears. Okonkwo and Spears are both Titans draft picks, and then Pollard signed last year. There are some good pieces, and it'll be interesting to see how the quarterback room shapes up and if the Titans actually keep Will Levis or not. But they do also have Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle. Those 2 are veterans and are expected to be the mentors for Ward. The Titans definitely tried to prepare for Cam Ward, but now it's time to see if they made the right call at number 1. We all know how things have gone for the Titans recently, but how did Cam Ward get here in the first place? Cam Ward grew up in West Columbia, Texas, where he went to Columbia High. High school football in Texas is insane compared to the rest of the country, but his time playing high school ball was pretty weird. As a junior, he threw for 1,070 yards and 7 touchdowns and rushed for 4. He threw 124 passes on the year and then only averaged 12 passes per game as a senior. Now, that's weird, so why? Well, it's because Columbia ran a wing T offense, where throwing the ball wasn't exactly common. It probably didn't help Cam Ward get offers, and he ended up only getting one from Incarnate Word, a Division I FCS program. He was still going by Cameron Ward at the time, according to his bio, and it also lists his relatives. He has 3 siblings, one ran track at Houston Baptist, and he's related to both Quandre Diggs, a 3-time Pro Bowl safety, and cornerback Quentin Jammer, who played cornerback for the Chargers for over a decade. He's also cousins with Kyron Drones, Virginia Tech's quarterback, which is just a cool little side piece. Ward's first year with the Cardinals was a weird one. It was postponed to spring of 2021 because of COVID, and they only played 6 games. But he was incredible. Ward passed for 2,260 yards and 24 touchdowns, the most in the FCS, and 4 interceptions, with 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, those numbers don't pop off the page, but with the context of it only being a 6-game season, that's pretty insane. He won the Jerry Rice Award as the most outstanding freshman at the FCS level, and he was great again as a sophomore, being named Southland Conference Player of the Year after he threw for 4,648 yards and 47 touchdowns with 10 interceptions. Cam Ward hopped in the transfer portal after the 2021 season and got the chance to play in the Pac-12 for 2 years at Washington State under Jake Dickert. Right after finishing back-to-back seasons and 1 calendar year at Incarnate Word, he enrolled at Washington State in January of 2022. He ended up winning the starting job and had a good season for the Cougars. He ended up passing for 3,231 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, while also rushing for 5 touchdowns. It was a 7-6 season for the Cougars, but it came with some highlights. They beat number 19 Wisconsin to start 2-0. They also lost a crazy shootout to number 15 Oregon 44-41. That team had Bo Nix, Bucky Irving, and Troy Franklin leading the offense. Then Washington State played in the LA Bowl, but they did get clapped 29-6 to Fresno State and Jake Haener. The next year, the Cougars declined to 5-7, but were ranked earlier in the year as high as number 13. Washington State knocked off number 19 Wisconsin and number 14 Oregon State. Ward ended up throwing for 3,735 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, and also rushed for 8 touchdowns. Once December rolled around, Ward hopped back in the portal, where he was rated a 4-star and the number 4 quarterback. At one point, Cam Ward had even declared for the 2024 NFL Draft, but he just couldn't pass up the chance to play at Miami with his last year of eligibility. In the age of NIL, it's not much of a crazy decision, and it's safe to say that he made the right call, because now he's literally the number 1 overall pick after a great season on a great team. Miami went 10-3 and were good, and the ACC really needed them as such a big brand to be great and make the college football playoff, and Miami was even off to a 9-0 start in early November, but then the wheels fell off. They lost to Georgia Tech 28-23 on November 9th, and then lost a wild shootout to Syracuse 42-38 on November 30th. That ultimately knocked Miami out of the ACC championship and completely ruined their season. No conference championship game led to no college football playoff, and instead they played in the Pop-Tart Bowl against Iowa State, where the Hurricanes lost 42-41. Ward did start in the bowl game, which is kind of rare to see from an NFL prospect, but it's not that simple. He played and then threw 3 touchdown passes to break the Division I record for career passing touchdowns at 158. Anyways, Ward did sit out after the first half of a close bowl game, which honestly does make sense to be annoyed at, but I'd argue that it's not Ward's fault. There really wasn't much incentive to play, and if he got hurt, he wouldn't have ended up going number 1, and he would have lost a lot of money because of it. Ward had proven enough. He finished 4th in Heisman Trophy voting, was the ACC Player of the Year, and won the Manning Award as the top quarterback in the country. He passed for 4,313 yards, 39 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, while rushing for an additional 7 touchdowns. Ward took the gamble to stay at Miami for a year, and it definitely worked out for him. Not only was he fantastic, but it led to him being not just the top quarterback in the class, but the number 1 overall pick. And it's time for the Titans to not screw it up now.